Katie just like rewrote the rules for the sport. Our sport has always come down to hundredths of a second. And then enter Katie Ledecky, and all of a sudden you're breaking world records by 5, 6, 7 seconds. And it's just like, that was unheard of. The most wild thing of all of it is she's still doing it. Her level of dominance has stayed so consistent. It's also really hard if you are outside of the sport to truly understand what it takes to not only get to the top, to not only stay at the top, but to stay there for 12 years. I am Missy Franklin, now Missy Franklin Johnson. I am an Olympic swimmer. I swam in the 2012 and 2016 Olympic Games, so in London and Rio. I am a 6-time Olympic medalist. 5 of those are golds. I am an 11-time world champion, a 4-time world record holder, and a 7-time national champion. I was super fortunate. Katie and I were actually on our first Olympic team together. So Katie and I were both in 2012 in London. I was 17 and Katie was 15. I remember I was watching her swim that 800 free from the medal ceremony room of the 200 backstroke, waiting to go out and get my gold medal. And I was watching her on the TV winning. And I saw her touch the wall and I just like was going nuts in there by myself, not believing that she had done that, but it was just the start of the unbelievable career that has been Katie Ledecky. I love watching Katie's races. They're so fun because even after all this time, it's so wild to see how much she wins by. This is her 800 freestyle at Worlds in Kazan in 2015. I was there, I was at that meet, so I remember watching this in the stands, just like, could not believe it. To be like 3 body lengths ahead of a world record line and to win almost a 25 ahead of your competitors. Like before Katie, that wasn't like possible in our sport. Like no one was dominating the way that Katie has. I feel like she's never satisfied. And I think that that is something that really pushes her, but that's also something that as a person is really hard to balance. What makes her so unbeatable and what makes her such a great athlete is she constantly wants more for herself, but then she follows that up. She knows what it takes and she's willing to put in that work and that effort. To have the kind of longevity that she has had in this sport on its own is unbelievable. When you factor in the dominance of that consistency, like how much she continues to win by. And then you add the fact that she's swimming the longest events that our sport has to offer. So she swims the 200, the 400, the 800, and the 1500, which is the mile. Even someone who knows intimately our sport and the training that goes into it, even I cannot fathom the amount of training that Katie Ledecky has had to put in to be at this level in those events, dominating by that much for this long. When it comes to Katie as a person, I think more than anything, I admire her thoughtfulness. I will never forget, I recently got inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame, and I walked into my hotel room and I had a bouquet of flowers, and my husband was with me, so I was like, oh, that's cute. Like, did you send those ahead of time? Like, what? And he was like, no, like, those aren't from me. And I was like, oh, where are these from? And I went over and they were from Katie. I was just so floored that with everything that she has going on, that she would take the time to do something like that. But that's just kind of the person she is. I think there's a lot of qualities that Katie has that's contributed to her athletic success. I think one of them is just her refusing to put any limits on herself. There were so many things that Katie has done that so many people would have thought that were impossible, and Katie just refused to put herself in a box. And I think that that is such an incredible example, not just for athletes, but for us as people, especially as women. Like, to just understand that there may be things that have never been done before, but why does that mean they can't be done by you? That is the role model that she is. When I think of Katie Ledecky, I think poise is actually a beautiful word for her because she is always so put together, and she just heads out there with the mindset of I am the greatest. We've been watching her do this for so long that I'm worried that we're getting used to seeing her win by so much, and we're just kind of like, oh yeah, like, of course, it's Katie, but it's like, no, like, it's still incredible what she's doing, and I don't want it ever to get old to people. That poise and confidence, it may come off as an easy poise and confidence, but there's so much work that has gone on in order to make it look easy. I can't really imagine the amount of pressure that she's felt ever since she broke on the scene 12 years ago, but you would almost never know it. I think she's just setting an incredible example for all of us in learning how to take those expectations and make them really work in your favor. What is the secret? What makes Katie so hard to beat? Truly, I think that is a question that everyone in the world has asked themselves. She's magic. She's magic. She's one of those athletes that truly comes around once in a generation, and it's just something really special. I don't think anyone will ever do it again in the same way that Katie has done it. And she's still not done, which is the most, which is so crazy too. Like, we're talking like she's already the most decorated world championship gold medalist. Like, her Olympic medal count is rising, her world record count. When you look at the top amount of times in the events that she swims, it is all Katie. And she's still going. Like, she still has Paris this summer. She's talked about competing through LA in 28. Like, who says there's not more after that too? Like, as long as her body holds up and it's what she feels like she wants to continue doing, there is literally nothing stopping her.
This is my goal.